Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Sip and Talk. It's your host, Joe.
And Sunny.
Back with you for another deep dive.
That's right.
And a very special shout out to all of our listeners in Taiwan.
Yes. Happy New Year, everyone.
Hope you had a great celebration, Sunny.
Yeah.
You won't believe what happened to me the other day.
Oh, no. What happened?
So I'm at the grocery store.
Right.
Just doing my weekly shopping.
Uh-huh.
And I bump into Mr. Thompson.
No way.
My old gym teacher.
Oh, my gosh, Mr. Thompson?
The one with the whistle.
The whistle.
And the booming voice.
Oh, my goodness.
We were reminiscing about all the dodgeball disasters in the middle of the produce aisle.
Only you, Joe. Only you could turn a grocery store run into a trip down memory lane.
I know, right?
But hey, speaking of blasts from the past and maybe hitting it big, today's topic is all about those lottery dreams.
Oh!
Specifically, the big lotto.
The big one.
We know a lot of our Taiwanese listeners love trying their luck.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, who hasn't dreamed of winning the lottery at some point? Yeah, it's like the ultimate fantasy.
A sudden rush of wealth, the freedom to do whatever you want.
Exactly.
It's definitely tempting.
It is.
But the big question is, can we actually crack the code? Are there any secret laws to winning the lottery?
Right.
Or is it all just random chance?
That's the big question, isn't it?
We did a deep dive into some research.
We did fascinating stuff.
Really is.
We're talking about the psychology behind picking numbers, the real odds of winning, maybe even some cautionary tales to keep us grounded.
Yeah.
So let's unpack this, shall we?
Let's do it.
We came across some interesting debates about how people choose their lottery numbers.
Okay.
It seems like everyone falls into one of two camps. Team fixed numbers or team random numbers.
Oh, yeah, the age-old battle.
Right.
Hell of it.
Some folks swear by their lucky numbers, birthdays, anniversaries, or even just those digits that just feel right.
Right.
They play them religiously week after week, convinced that persistence is key.
Persistence is key.
What do you think?
I think there's something to that.
Yeah.
It's like a ritual.
It is.
A way of feeling like they have some control over this incredibly random event.
Absolutely. And hey, there's definitely a psychological aspect to it.
Yeah.
Sticking with the same numbers, especially ones that have personal meaning, can make the whole experience more engaging.
For sure.
Even if it doesn't actually improve your chances.
Right.
But then you've got team random numbers.
Right.
Those folks who just let the machine decide their fate.
Yeah.
Figure, hey, it's all random anyway. Might as well just go with the flow, right?
Makes sense.
Right.
Totally.
And from a purely statistical standpoint, they've got a point.
Yeah.
Every lottery drawing is what we call an independent event.
Okay.
Think of it like flipping a coin.
Okay.
Just because you get heads 10 times in a row doesn't mean you're any more likely to get tails on the next flip.
Right.
Each flip, like each lottery drawing, is completely separate, totally unrelated to past results.
So are you saying that all those elaborate strategies and systems people come up with, they're basically just for fun?
Pretty much. I mean, there's no harm in having a system if it makes you feel more confident.
Right.
But let's be real, those numbers are being pulled out of a giant spinning machine.
Yeah.
There's no magic formula to predict which ones will pop up next.
So what does this all mean for our listeners who are hoping to strike it rich? Should they be meticulously choosing their numbers or just hitting that quick pick button?
Well, here's the truth bomb, folks.
Get me with it.
Statistically speaking, it doesn't matter how you choose your numbers.
Really?
Whether you're team fixed or team random, your odds of winning are exactly the same.
Wow.
It all boils down to pure, unadulterated luck.
Okay, hold on, Sonny. I'm sure some of our listeners are thinking, but what about those stories of people winning with their lucky numbers? Surely there's got to be something to it.
I get it. Those stories are definitely compelling.
They are.
But think about it this way. Millions of people play the lottery every week. It's statistically inevitable that some people will win with their lucky numbers, just like some will win with random numbers.
Uh-huh.
It's all about the law of averages at play.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right.
So no matter how we pick them,
Yeah.
our chances are pretty much the same.
Pretty much.
But just how slim are those chances exactly?
Well, let's just say you're more likely to get struck by lightning while riding a unicorn than to win the Powerball.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we're talking 1 in hundreds of millions.
Hundreds of millions.
To put it into perspective, if you bought a ticket every single day,
Okay.
it would theoretically take, you get this 800,000 years to win.
800,000 years.
Yeah.
I think I'll stick to my day job for now.
Probably a good call. But
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
that's not to say we can't have a little fun exploring the lottery dream.
Right.
After all, there's something undeniably appealing about that tiny cost of a ticket compared to the massive potential payout.
Oh, yeah.
It's that classic risk-reward ratio that gets our hearts racing.
It does.
And hey, who knows? Maybe one of our listeners will be the next lucky winner.
You never know. But even if we don't hit the jackpot, this whole lottery thing is a fascinating window into human psychology.
It is.
Why are we so obsessed with getting rich quick?
Yeah.
What does that say about our values and aspirations? We're going to dig into those questions after.
Ooh, good questions.
A quick break.
Speaking of breaks.
If you're looking for some travel inspiration, whiskey reviews, and just all-around good vibes, you've got to check out our friend's YouTube channel, Mickytolife.
Yeah.
He's got some awesome content that'll make you want to book a flight and grab a glass of something good.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back.
Right after this. All right, so we've talked about the odds, the psychology, and the cold, hard truth that there's no secret formula for winning the lottery.
Right.
But that doesn't mean we can't dream big, right?
Of course not. I mean, it's all about perspective, right?
Exactly.
We could enjoy the thrill of the what if
without
letting it consume us.
Right.
You know, this whole conversation got me thinking, though.
Oh, yeah?
What if we took all that energy we put into dreaming about winning the lottery and channeled it into something a little more attainable?
Now, you're talking.
Right.
There are so many paths to building wealth and achieving financial freedom that don't involve relying on pure luck.
Okay, so what are some of those alternative paths? Where should our listeners start if they want to create their own financial success stories?
Well, one path that always comes to mind is entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Now I know what you're thinking.
What am I thinking?
Starting a business. That's way too risky.
I'd rather just take my chances with the lottery.
Right?
Yeah. I can see how people might think that, but
entrepreneurship doesn't have to be this big, scary, all-or-nothing venture.
Right.
It can start small, even as a side hustle, while you're still working your 9 to 5.
I like that.
Yeah.
So find something you're passionate about.
Exactly.
Something you're good at, and turn it into a source of income.
It could be baking, crafting, writing, teaching. There are endless possibilities these days.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with the power of the internet.
Right. Think about all those online platforms, Etsy, Shopify, even social media.
Absolutely.
It's incredible.
They've made it easier than ever to connect with potential customers and build a brand.
Yeah.
You can literally start a business from your living room.
So cool.
And the best part is you're in control.
You are.
You get to be your own boss, set your own hours, and create something you're truly proud of.
I love that.
Sure, it takes hard work and dedication, but the rewards can be incredible.
Yeah.
Both financially and personally.
I mean, it's like you're investing in yourself and your own future, rather than relying on some random drawing to determine your fate.
Well said.
Speaking of investing,
Uh-oh.
that's another path to financial well-being that's often overlooked.
Oh, yes. The power of compound interest.
Right.
It's a beautiful thing to witness.
It really is.
And these days, investing isn't just for Wall Street tycoons. There are so many resources available to help everyday people get started, even with a small amount of money.
You've got apps, robo-advisors, online courses.
Yeah.
It's amazing how accessible investing has become.
It is.
It's like having a personal finance guru right in your pocket.
Exactly. And the key here is to start early.
Yeah.
Be patient and diversify your investments.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Well said.
That's some solid advice.
Thank you.
But hey, let's not forget about the non-monetary aspects of wealth. What about investing in ourselves?
Oh, that's so important. We're talking about things like education, personal development, building strong relationships, and pursuing our passions. These are the things that truly enrich our lives and bring lasting fulfillment.
Exactly. True wealth isn't just about the number in your bank account. It's about living a life that's full of purpose, joy, and connection.
It's about finding those things that make you feel truly alive and investing your time and energy into them.
So what does this all mean for our listeners?
Yeah.
What's the takeaway here?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is that while the lottery might be a fun fantasy to entertain, there are so many other more attainable paths to building wealth and creating a life you love.
Paths that are based on hard work, dedication, and a willingness to invest in yourself and your dreams.
Exactly. So instead of putting all your hopes on that 1 in a million chance, why not explore some of these other options? You might be surprised at what you can achieve.
So we've covered the alternatives, but let's circle back to that initial question that sparked this whole deep dive. Why are we so obsessed with getting rich quick? Why does this lottery dream have such a powerful hold on our imaginations?
That's a great question, and I think there are a few key factors at play here.
Okay.
For one, we live in a society that often equates wealth with success and happiness. We're bombarded with images of luxury lifestyles, overnight success stories, and the idea that more is always better.
More is always better.
It's easy to get caught up in that materialistic mindset and start believing that winning the lottery is the ticket to a perfect life.
It's like that keeping up with the Joneses mentality on steroids.
Exactly. And then there's the human tendency to overestimate the likelihood of positive events. Psychologists call this the optimism bias.
Okay.
And it can be incredibly powerful, especially when it comes to things like gambling or winning the lottery. We see that tiny chance of winning, and our brains latch onto it, ignoring the much larger probability of losing.
Yeah, it's like we convince ourselves that we're somehow special, that we're going to be the exception to the rule.
Right. And let's not forget about the allure of instant gratification. We live in a world that's obsessed with speed and efficiency. We want everything now, and we want it fast.
Now.
So the idea of bypassing the hard work and achieving wealth overnight is incredibly tempting.
The ultimate shortcut.
It is.
The easy way out. But as we've discussed, there are no real shortcuts to lasting wealth and fulfillment.
Exactly. It takes time, effort, and a willingness to embrace the journey with all its ups and downs. And that brings us back to those thought-provoking questions we raised earlier about the lottery's impact on society.
The ones about the lottery being a regressive tax and creating unrealistic expectations.
Exactly, because even if we personally choose to skip the lottery line, it's still a massive cultural phenomenon that raises important ethical and social questions.
So let's dive into those head first.
Okay.
What's the thinking behind this idea of the lottery being a regressive tax?
The main argument is that lotteries disproportionately impact lower-income individuals because they tend to spend a higher percentage of their income on lottery tickets compared to wealthier folks.
So it's like a voluntary tax that hits those who can least afford it the hardest.
That's the concern. And some critics argue that this creates a cycle where those struggling financially fund government programs through their lottery purchases, while the odds of actually benefiting from those programs are slim to none.
That's a tough reality to swallow. And what about the argument that lotteries create unrealistic expectations about wealth and success?
Well, think about it. We're constantly bombarded with stories of lottery winners who suddenly become multimillionaires overnight. It's easy to get caught up in that fantasy and start believing that winning the lottery is the key to happiness and financial security.
Especially when you're struggling to make ends meet. That dream can be incredibly seductive.
Exactly. But the problem is that dream is often built on a foundation of false hope. It downplays the importance of hard work education and financial literacy and reinforces the idea that luck is the primary driver of success.
And that could be a dangerous message, especially for young people still figuring out their path in life.
Absolutely. It's important to remember that success, whether financial or otherwise, is rarely achieved overnight. It usually involves a combination of hard work, dedication, perseverance, and, yes, a little bit of luck.
So how do we reconcile this tension between the allure of the lottery and the importance of responsible financial decision-making?
It's a tricky balance. On the one hand, we need to acknowledge that for some people, buying a lottery ticket is a harmless form of entertainment. It's a small indulgence that provides a temporary escape from the realities of daily life.
That little glimmer of hope.
Exactly. But it's crucial to promote financial literacy and education so people understand the true odds and the potential downsides of relying on the lottery as a financial strategy.
We need to empower people to make informed choices and pursue more sustainable paths to financial well-being.
I couldn't agree more. And perhaps it's also a good time to reflect on our own definitions of wealth and success. What does wealth truly mean to you?
That's a great question. Is it all about money, or are there other forms of wealth that we often overlook, like strong relationships, good health, a sense of purpose?
Exactly. Maybe if we broaden our understanding of wealth, the allure of getting rich quick loses some of its shine.
It's like shifting our focus from the destination to the journey.
Well said. And on that note, let's wrap up this deep dive with a final thought for our listeners to ponder.
I like it. Lay it on us.
Imagine for a moment that you had all the time and resources in the world, but you couldn't win the lottery. What would you do with your life? What dreams would you pursue? What impact would you want to make on the world?
That's a powerful question. It forces us to look beyond the easy answers and tap into what truly matters to us.
Because ultimately, the pursuit of wealth and happiness shouldn't be about chasing a fleeting dream. It should be about creating a life that is both meaningful and fulfilling.
And on that inspiring note, we'll leave you to ponder those big questions. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Until next time, keep sipping, keep talking, and keep those dreams alive.